Welcome back, friends. All right, so in this lesson, we're going to be looking at what it means to be in a key or mode, and we're going to find out that our flute that we think of as an A minor flute can be a lot of different things. It can be in a lot of different keys or modes. Now, the key I was just playing in, or over, the root I was just playing over, was an A and an E. Right, an A and an E, and I had the Shruti box. I recorded some loops. So that's what we call Aolian Mode. It's the minor mode as defined by the Greeks. You can look up modes. We're going to be talking modes today. So that's Aolian, and we think of that as the minor key. And your flute is set up for that pretty much, but only because the low note is an A, right? So that's why we call it an A minor flute. The reality is, and this is the point of this lesson, is that our flute, just because it has different notes on it, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily the mode or the key of the flute. Why? Because the mode or the key of the flute is only really relating to the bass note, or the drone in this case. If I play over an A and an E, then I am playing in Aolian mode because of the relationship of these notes, right? But my notes are fixed. I can't change the notes on here. Not easily anyway. So if I play the regular scale, regular flute scale, the standard one, right? If I play those notes, I'm playing in Aolian mode. All right. However, if I change the drone, if I change what's under the flute, I'm playing in a different mode. Let's go to another mode and see if you can, I just gave you a hint, see if you can figure out which one this is. Did you get it? I said, see if you can figure out which one this is. All right, so because I'm putting a C and a G underneath my A minor flute, I'm playing in Ionian mode, which implies the major key, C major. All right, are my notes changing on my flute? No. The relationship between my flute and the background, or the harmonic bed, if you will, the drone, is changing. And that's how you can use the same flute to play in different keys or modes. These are really called modes. They're not necessarily keys. There's a little bit of a difference. We don't care at this particular time. Aolian mode, minor sound. Ionian mode, major sound. We've got 3 others that we're going to do in this video, so let's keep going. If I play over these notes, any guesses? A lot of Gregorian chant was written in this particular mode. This mode is Dorian. And so it changes the relationship, right, with the notes on my flute. And we have a different relationship with the root. And in this case, it's like playing from D to D on the piano and holding down the D as your root. So Dorian mode is another kind of minor mode, but it's not the same relationships as Aolian mode, which is also like a minor mode. All right, so that's if I play over D. And in this case, we're playing over a fifth always, so it's D and A, but it's mainly playing over D. The A is just adding like another color in there, but it's not as functional. All right, let's go on. We've got another one, and I'll tell you the name. I'm not even going to tell you after. I'll tell you before. This is called Lydian mode. Lydian. Right. Lydian mode is when I use my flute and play over F. F and C in this case would be the fifth. So that has a whole different sound. Sometimes people call this the, I don't know, sort of a hyper major scale because it's got a raised fourth. It's got a tritone in there. So the fourth degree. In this case, when I play a B, it's got this very interesting sound that sort of expands. I don't know. It's an interesting sound. So you can research Lydian mode. So now I'm playing in Lydian mode. So do I have a Lydian flute? All right, we got one more, and we're gonna go up to G this time. I'll tell you the mode name after. Here's what it sounds like when I play it over a G pedal. So this is called Mixolydian. So we had Lydian over F and Mixolydian over G. Don't ask me why. But isn't that a cool sound? Now this is like a dominant scale. It's kind of like, it's a major scale, but it's got a flat 7. It doesn't have a major 7th. It has a flat 7. Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Anyway, that's it. So was I playing a Mixolydian flute? Was I playing a Lydian flute? Was I playing a Dorian flute, an Ionian flute, an Aolian flute? I don't know. I just want to play my flute. All right, so the names and the labels, not the most important thing. Hearing and enjoying the difference, that's what's important. And just know that when we say I have an A minor flute, it just means that my flute is kind of, I guess, oriented a little more towards the Aeolian key more than others. And by the way, before we go, I don't want you to think that because the word Aeolian starts with A and the low note on this flute is A, that you need an A flute to play Aeolian. That's not the case. Any of your flutes you can do this as long as the relationships between your flute and the drone or the underlying, supporting harmony notes are the same as they are in this case. So the low note on your flute would be your sort of Aeolian key. One hole open would be your Ionian key. In this case, it's C. Dorian, conveniently, would be D on this flute. And then Lydian would be your F note. We're skipping E right now. And then Mixolydian would be your G, right? Or your, on your flute, that note, right? One closed, skip one, and then your third hold down closed. So that's your Mixolydian root key on whatever flute you're playing. All right. Are you guys thoroughly confused? Are you sorry you watched this video and now you've got too many terms and things swimming around in your head? It's okay. This is just a starting point. So now, if you weren't familiar with these things, what I'd like to invite you guys to do is Google Aolian, Ionian, Lydian, Mixian. And if you want to torture yourself even more, you can also look up Phrygian and Locrian. But we don't use those as much as these. These are the main ones. All right, so Aolian, Ionian, Dorian, Lydian, Mixian. All right? That's it, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Happy fluting. See you later.